Welcome to this latest pitching session of the Tech Startup finalists of IOE-Seedstars Migration Challenge competition. It is intense, it is exciting, and it is empowering. Today we have 9 dynamic and innovative tech startup specialists, finalists with us, who have made it through rigorous selection rounds, intensive training, much preparation to get to this final stage pitching. They will now present their final Migration Challenge pitches to all of us watching today across the globe. This is the 3rd year of the Migration Challenge competition, which is organized by IOE, working closely with our partner, IOE-Seedstars, a Swiss-based incubator. No matter who wins, our goal is to promote promising tech startups offering innovative private sector solutions for migration governance and changing the public narrative around migration. All the finalists will become part of the IOE alumni startup network that continues to grow and facilitate labor mobility. We hope that you will be inspired and motivated by today's presentations. Do not forget to tune in for the live winner announcement on our Twitter feed at IOE Voice 1st of July at 14 Central European Time. The winner will receive 5,000 Swiss francs from IOE and personalized mentorship sessions with IOE-Seedstars. I wish the best of luck to all the startups. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Francesca and I oversee various migration related projects at IOE-Seedstars. So today I just wanted to share a bit our vision about migration and who IOE-Seedstars is as a whole. So let's maybe start with that. IOE-Seedstars is a Swiss company that was born now nearly 10 years ago on a mission to have a positive impact on emerging markets through, on the one hand, technology and on the other hand, entrepreneurship. We do so through focusing our work around 3 core pillars. The first one is what I tend to call a support pillar, a capacity building pillar, a pillar through which we work hands-on with entrepreneurs on supporting them in launching, accelerating, or growing their business. The second pillar is an investment pillar through which IOE-Seedstars provides access to capital and provides capital itself to companies that it believes in. Then the third pillar is a networking pillar, meaning that we try to put actors of various ecosystems in touch amongst each other, but also actors from various ecosystems in touch with other people that have similar interests or that work on similar solutions across other ecosystems. Just to give you a little idea of our reach, today IOE-Seedstars is present on 95 ecosystems, meaning that we support entrepreneurs that are based in entrepreneurial communities in 95 key entrepreneurial cities across the globe. To date, we've worked with over 30,000 entrepreneurs. Those are entrepreneurs that we trained. On top of that, we've also supported more closely, meaning working hands in hands over various months, etc., with 4,000 entrepreneurs. If we look at all these companies, we see that cumulated they've raised over $800 million US. If we step aside from those companies that we really supported under this first pillar that I just mentioned, and if we zoom in on the second pillar, which is the investment pillar, we see that IOE-Seedstars has invested to date in 67 companies that are working day and night to try and have a positive impact on the markets that they serve in various sectors that have a high impact potential. I mean, it could be a lot of things, but when I say that, I think, for example, of edtech, of healthcare, of logistics, etc., etc., etc. And then if we look at the networking pillar, which is the last one that I had mentioned, we see that around our mission today, IOE-Seedstars has over 250,000 enablers, actors, be it from the private sector, the public sector, the non-governmental organizations, the investors community, the entrepreneurial community, of course, as a main stakeholder, etc., etc. All that community that surrounds IOE-Seedstars is a community that believes in the mission of having a positive impact on emerging markets through entrepreneurship and tech. Our activities are usually geared around either a specific thematic or cross-cutting topics. Migration is definitely one of the fields in which we are very active. In fact, we do have various projects that tackle migration from various angles and various lenses. What I want to share with you today is our firm belief that entrepreneurship can have a positive impact on the field of migration. How so? Well, essentially, innovation and entrepreneurship are definitely today a drive in shifting the lines of the way private and public actors behave around certain topics, such as, for example, human mobility. If we look at entrepreneurship and technology, we see that it has a real potential to increase the efficiency of either the procedures or the dynamics that surround migration, be it for the migrating populations or for the host communities. Migration technology and migration and entrepreneurship, if put together, does have an immense potential to create a ripple effect and to enhance efficiency in that specific sector. Together with various partners, we are thus extremely committed to supporting entrepreneurs that work in the field of migration.
Hi everyone, and thank you for joining. My name is Kevin Choucair, and I am SeedStars Program Manager. Today, we have with us 9 awesome startups that will pitch for 3 minutes each and take questions from the jury members for 2 minutes. Before we get started, let's meet our jury members. With us today is Anna Alvarez, founder and CEO of Migrapreneur, Nikolai Strom-Olsen, co-founder at Startup Migrants, Alvise Giustiniani, Vice President of Illicit Trade Prevention at Philip Morris International, and David Munir Napte, CEO of Bloom EMEA.
Once upon a time, somewhere in Italy, an 8-year-old kid watching the sky asked his dad, "Dad, where are those airplanes going?" It was 1990. It was the Yugoslavian war. A few weeks later, that kid, while getting ready for his class, found out he had 4 new colleagues who were speaking such a weird language. Migration is very often associated to something bad, but migrations mean life, means surviving, means knowledge. 280 million migrants are leaving everything behind in order to search for a better life, a better job, and not only. The segment we are focused on are students. 50% of them are considering relocating. But the relocation process is very complicated. Low trust, local unprepared recruitment platform, and unfair recruitment agencies are the biggest issues. And here we come, 3minutesjob.com, the gateway to find a job abroad in a unique, diverse, and inclusive way. Video CV and video job descriptions are few of our new exciting tools. Our pride is the unique attention we allow to diversity and inclusion. We created 6 badges which are used by our customers to promote their job offers and break down the lack of trust by certain categories of applicants. Today, we are now working on a new visa filter in partnership with eHome Romania, and it will help foreign workers already abroad willing to change job. Our target market is B2B. We are willing to help recruitment agencies and companies any size willing to employ our target persona, age 20 to 25, and not listed on the LinkedIn, basically junior white collars. Our traction, we have 17,000 job seekers, 1,500 companies. They are all coming from 107 different countries, and we have online more than 2,000 jobs. Our business model is based on a single job post or a monthly membership plan. Our team is formed by two founders. Gabriel is the one who realized the platform in-house, and Andrea, that kid who now turned in a man with 10 years experience in human resources and a shared mission with his team, which is bringing equal opportunities for every job seeker worldwide. So, if you believe in this project, support 3minutesjob.com. Support life. Thank you.
The first one I wonder is, where is your team located? And how is your network in the business world in the countries you are operating?
Okay, so here you can see the team. Everybody is in the country where they're wearing the flag. So me, I'm the only one in Romania. Most of the team is in Romania. We have 2 employees in India and 2 employees in Croatia. And we are a kind of hybrid startup. Basically, nobody have ever met everybody physically. So everybody's working from a remote. And yes, my connection. So I do own the most profitable recruitment agency in Romania, based on profit, 2019-2020. And I am member of the National Association of Temporary Work Agencies. I am connected to all the main CEO in the human resources field, such as Adecom, Empower, and GI Group, and so on. Some of them are already our customers. And yes, I have very good connection with eHome Romania. And I met actually them 2 days ago, actually on Friday, for arranging and working on this new plan. Thank you.
Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much. Beautiful platform and amazing work of what you've done. Essentially, just 2 little things. The first question is, when you were introducing the tracking of 3 minutes, it's a tracking of 3 minutes or the tracking of the work that you've done previously? That's what I want to know, and that's basically what I was not clear to. And the second thing essentially is, it was not clear to me because you mentioned I am that kid. What's your connection with this? Why migration is so important to you? Because I want to know how and why you want to drive this impact and you want to work in this field, you personally.
Yeah, I will get the second one because the first one I'm a bit lost about that. But the thing is, I am born in Trieste. Trieste is the border with in Slovenia in Italy, and it was the border with ex-Yugoslavia. So for us, from 1990, we started to see migration live. Now the city has more than 30% of people coming from abroad. Then I moved for my studies in Leicester in UK, and there half of the city was Asian, the other half was British. Then I went to study in Erasmus in France, worked in Greece, now working in Romania. And my main job today with all the company is posting workers back to Romanian workers to Croatia, Slovenia, and Italy, where my other agency is authorized. So everything about my life has been migrating. Even my baby is Romanian and Italian as well. So he has a baby with 2 citizenships. And thanks, Anna, for your questions, for the compliments. If you want to tell me again the first question very slowly.
But you are on the right page, which is traction, because I just you talk about working in Romania as well previously. Is it with 3 minutes, or is it another venture that you did before? And if all this traction is about 3 minutes,
yes, about 3 minutes.
Okay.
This KPI, and the most interesting thing is that we have users from 170 countries and jobs in 83 countries. So we are very similar to that website called Eures, you may know it, but that one is very cold. Instead, everybody entering our platform has another user experience with pictures, videos, locations, and another completely user experience. Exactly what Generation Z is willing to get. They don't have time to read a job post. They need to get it, the video. They need to be served very fast. And we need to do that as well.
Why do people choose to migrate? What are their reasons to do that? Some of them is to be closer to their family or friends, or to earn more money, or to enhance career opportunities and personal development. or to go to places with climate they like, or to be closer to geographic regions as mountains, things, or other reasons as health, culture, education, or just to make an adventure. But what all these reasons together actually mean? What do you think? It's all about life balance, or how we more often said, for a better life. The problem is that jobs published on many job boards don't provide enough and trusted information to make an important decision in their life to migrate. So we build an ecosystem in which people can find jobs based on location criteria. Then can get directions from home to the job, to see the travel times, what in surroundings, the public transport, the main living indicators, salary, reviews from other people, and other needed information. Top 10 job boards in 2019 made the revenue more than $12 billion. No more borders. You can explore jobs all around the world in one place. You can see the same job in other countries and to compare them. The transparency, you know the exact location of places of work, the salary ranges, cost of living indicators. Our platform have a nice user experience, is human-oriented, is easy of use, and you can search and compare vacancies by your needs. Our business model is to take $1 for each job posting from companies for a daily job posting. You will have the possibility to have first job for free, and no workers should pay a fee, just companies. At the moment, we are focused to get traction, and in September, we will start to acquire customers. Our team, all of us work for about 3 years in the same IT company, driven by George, the CEO of Staf Online, and also I and George have experience for about 3 years in recruitment. And we recruit people for about 2 years from Moldova and Romania to go to work abroad. Staf Online, a job board that helps job seekers to find job opportunities in a transparent and accessible way. Thanks.
I just have a quick question regarding the application and basically the technology. I mean, this is very edgy and this is very trendy, the easy, fast and simple and basically location based. So I have no doubt about that. However, these concepts are more related to delivery in general, because you can buy things fast, easy and simple. But when it comes to job hiring and job acquisition, where have you analyzed the risks on basically that sometimes hiring somebody, especially somebody with migrant background, is not that easy because there's a lot of bureaucracy behind. So what's your promise with your application on making it easy and fast? We have a really user experience where you can easy find a job, and it is very transparent. You as a job seeker, you have a lot of information that it is important when we speak about migration. And also we made a transparent medium for employers and employees to connect directly with each other and to know more about each other. We will have some verifications from both sides. Also, we will verify job seekers and we will verify companies to have really a transparent job board to find each other.
I just had a quick question about how, you mentioned already that the space is very competitive. You had a slide up that has a lot of your competitors that have a big head start on you. How do you really see Staf Online differentiating itself and being able to sort of carve out a space in that environment?
So we are focused on blue collar workers. So we also are focused to recruitment firms from UK that have kind of jobs for job seekers. And our advantage is for job seekers, they can have a new method of visualization of jobs on the map in a transparent and accessible way. And they can compare jobs all around the world, just in one place, not to go to a lot of job platforms to see the opportunities that they can have. And this
you're pulling the jobs, you're pulling the job information from those different sites as well?
Yeah, for example, our job platforms have a list of jobs, and for example, it is optional to have a location. So if you put that location London, you will have a list of jobs, but it is in London, but you don't know the exact location of the job, and you can compare them. You may know the location, but maybe not. You can know only the city. But here you can see the location, and maybe you want an apartment rent near, or to go to with your family and to have, I don't know, school or kindergartens near your job.
Hi everyone. Did you know that over millions of IT jobs go unfilled every year? Tech companies always need talent, but they struggle to find them locally. And if you imagine, if you want to find a job abroad, it's a real challenge. You will face hundreds of questions in your mind. Where should I start? How can I get my work visa? What will be my net salary in a new country? Where's the list of companies that will support me during the move? And even like how to move my cat. And where our solution comes in. Relocate Me is an IT job platform, a relocation job platform for software developers and other IT professionals. You will find everything you need in one place. First of all, we offer jobs from verified employers who will help you to get your work visa done and also support you during the move. As well as we offer tons of helpful information and things you need to be prepared for moving to a new country. The market actually is growing so fast after the pandemic, and it's recovering really fast. And we expect that it will be over 100,000 companies in the world by 2023. They will be hiring from abroad. Our business model is pretty simple. We offer our services. Our service is absolutely free for job seekers, and we earn money from companies. We sell them the job postings from 2 months to like annual subscriptions. We also list a number of relocation providers around the world, as well as we work with national governments such as Denmark and Estonia, and we help them to bring their country brand in front of international job seekers. We have a rather small team of core but really motivated people. Me, myself, as a founder, I also lived abroad, so I know like the first hand what are the real challenges when you move to a new country. And even though we are small, we combine over 15 years of professional experience in tech talent relocation. Yeah, here is our success so far. We launched in 2017, and so far we achieved the monthly revenue on the average for the last 6 months is $12,000. We have over 100 countries, 100 paid customers from all over the world, starting from Europe, Asia, and North America. Every month we have more than 3,000 registered new users on the platform. In total, we combine 80,000 resumes from 100 nationalities. And as a result of all of this success, we make from 5 to 15 successful hires every month. Our next steps are pretty ambitious, and we'll continue working hard to make the relocation process for IT professionals easier and smooth, as well as for IT companies, encourage them to increase the boundaries of their countries. And our goal, as I said, pretty ambitious. We want to become in the next 5 years the brand #1 that appear in the mind of every IT professional in the world when they think about the relocation. And I guess over 80,000 registered users so far is a good proof that this goal is pretty achievable. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm super happy to answer your questions.
First of all, thank you for the presentation. That was crystal clear. Question, as I understand that you're focusing on the IT workers, any reason to specialize on that niche, or you want to be in a niche? Because the problems they are facing is similar to many other workers. So what's thinking behind that?
Yeah, thank you so much for the kind words about the presentation. Yeah, definitely the focus is for IT at the moment is that by our research, this is the mostly fastly growing industry in the world with the biggest lack of talent, as well as on the other side, employers, they most likely want to hire people from abroad, mainly where they're like developers, IT professionals, because they speak programming languages and they're universal. And mainly for marketers or even for C-level, they prefer to hire people locally. So yeah, I would say this is the biggest demand at the moment, and we have 90% of tech workers. Still, we have 10% of non-tech, this like marketing, sales, and other type of professionals.
Can I ask a question? That is, first of all, could you explain a little bit more about the contract you have with Denmark and Estonia? And second, where is your team located?
Yeah, thank you so much for your questions. Our team is based in Ukraine, mainly, and regarding the governments, for example, with Estonia, I'm pretty sure it's not a NDA, sorry, I can share it. So we help them to create a country page on Relocate Me on how to move to Estonia, and we work directly with their government. In terms of Denmark, we work with their organization that calls Copenhagen Capacity. They help local brands to attract foreigners, mainly in tech. So they actually buy a number of job slots on our platform.
I'm curious, I mean, very interesting project. It seems to be also a fairly crowded market. There are a lot of different websites and efforts that are trying to do this, and plus a lot that are trying to balance both with remote work and with people who want to relocate. I'm curious how you approach that aspect of competition, of differentiation, etc.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess we're like unique in a way that we combine everything in one place. Starting like we probably one unique company that released the relocation package that employers offering transparently. So you can see not only a job description, but you can see a list of perks that you'll be offered as a future employer. And also like we have so much tools like salary tax calculators. You can see a list of companies that are hiring from abroad. You can even check how to move your cat and pets, or how to move with a car to a new country, as well as a list of verified employers. So that makes us unique. You're absolutely right that we have a competition with local companies with the remote, but also the world is changing. And a lot of our companies also offer the jobs that will be remote first. And once the work visa will be done, they'll move their employees to their country. So in a way, we also adjust to the new reality and offer mixed version, not only relocation, but remote first, and then move when the documents are ready.
I'm in your Learning Center page, and I just want to know if you offer something else to the migrant community than just basically advise them on how to basically clean up and work on their CVs and connect them with jobs. Do you have some sort of follow-up with them once they arrive to the country, or any of the hurdles that they have to face once they're in the country of relocate, where they relocate?
Yeah, absolutely. We stay in touch with them. We learn from their experience. We try to share it. It's in our blog or etc. For example, recently we posted an article on Hacker News about moving from the guy from Iran to London, and it hit the front page for like 15 minutes. It was the huge success for us. And also what we want to do in the future, we want to be kind of the talent agents for the job seekers. Unfortunately, we can't have everyone, but we could be like in football. We want to select the number of job seekers mostly from emerging countries, and help them to do kind of a boot camp for like a month or two, and then help them place to the countries where they want, help them to negotiate the salary, etc., etc. So this is kind of the next our goal for the end of this year. But in general, yeah, we try to be as much responsive for candidates, support them if in the way we can, even by connecting them to the local relocation providers as well.
So, did you know that in France, according to a recent study, less than 1 in 4 foreign researchers are satisfied with the way they are welcome in France? So Work Like Home is born to change the narrative once and for all, starting with France. In 2014, I arrived in France for my studies. I faced so many unsolicited challenges, such as my reception, accommodation, or going through the administrative hurdles. Months later, I crossed paths with a Colombian student in a similar situation, and Work Like Home was born. We propose a holistic approach and empower locals called Work Like Home partners to participate in the process of welcoming foreign students in their towns. The market opportunity is more than 20 billion euros. Our go-to-market centers around content and host families. To onboard host families, we have designed a three-pillar strategy. Competition in France is highly fragmented. We have differentiated ourselves by being content and marketplace focused. We make money by charging a fee for every successful match. In the future, we plan to introduce a SaaS model for universities and companies. More than 150 successful matches so far. By reducing the matchmaking time to less than 48 hours, we can increase the conversion rate to more than 40%. Actually, we have 6,000 monthly users generating more than 30,000 page views. 100% of our partners love the Work Like Home experience. We are fundraising to develop the necessary technology needed to scale our solution throughout France and beyond, putting a smile on faces, provoking encounters, shaming prejudice, while building long-lasting connections. We have identified some risks and put in place risk mitigation mechanisms. It's a passionate and resilient team. Xing and I, both engineers, first started Work Like Home in 2015. We quickly experienced failure. I have penned down in 2 books the reasons for this failure. JC and Claude both have tremendous experience with startups. At the end of it all, dear friends, we are all migrants in a way. And what we want is for you and I to have a place we can all call home, a world like home. Join us, together we win. Thank you.
Thank you. Migrant-led organizations are difficult. I know it by heart, and this is what I believe so much. So thank you for doing this effort. I was just a little bit lost with the tracking of the people of the users of the platform so far. If you can just go to that slide particularly, while any other member of the jury can ask your questions. And I want to get the book. I want to read about your failures because, and if you have time at the end, yeah, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I'll be happy to sign you a copy, either in French or in English.
That will be an honor. And I would be at the end of the whole questionnaire, if there's time, I want you to weigh on that. Basically, why did you, if there's any hurdle that you had to go through while in France that make you, I don't call it failures, to go through that big lesson? Is there any hurdle that you faced that you think that it was like that because you were a person with a migrant background? Just interested to know about that. But go ahead and take all the questions and then focus on that at the end.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm just to make this clear, that the core business model of this startup is to make it easier for foreign students to find a nice place to live. Is that correct?
Yeah.
It
is to make study abroad stress-free.
And so, just to follow on, can you elaborate on what you guys, like specifically, what do you do? It seems, how do you make that stress-free for them? It's all sort of one-on-one consulting support?
So we are building out a marketplace. We have 2 aspects, as I talk here in this our go-to-market. That for the start, they have 3 areas of worries. The very first one is getting an accommodation, which is one of the pain points. The next one is information, simply getting the necessary information on the right information at the right time.
So on another slide, you mentioned that the average that people are paying is 200 euros.
Yeah, that is for the host family.
The host family is paying 200 euros?
No, yeah, it is here. That is, we connect students with host family, and The student, they pay.
So if you successfully match
euros, yeah.
Then they pay you 200 euros, and then they're paying the host family. Are they paying the host family?
They are paying the 200 euros is the complete amount that they pay. So part goes to us and part the host family.
I see. How much goes to you versus how much goes to the host family?
Our fee is fixed, which is 100 euros, and the host family, they decide on how much they want. They can do it for free, or they can do it for a service, or they can do it at an amount that they decide on freely.
Okay, great. And you've matched. You've had 69 people actually pay to you folks.
That was
okay.
That was just last year, but since we have had more than 150 successful matches already to our fans.
Hi, everyone. That's great to be here. We're talking about the migrant get up and go. As you already know, there are around 300 million migrants moving around the world for living annually. 60% of them are from Asia. That's why it's eyes on the borderless opportunity. The core factor of success at the right time, right market. The new technology is rapidly reshaping financial sector, so we can't ignore with this cross-border business payment of 63 billion annually. Only remittance global is around 700 billion. APAC is around 250. 18 billion to Vietnam as the top 10 receiving remittance country. 6% of the GDP is not a small job. Moving global fund is costly and many is a barrier of regulation. That's why we build the Beyond Border Bridge, a financial IBI aggregator platform, and is a neon-banking wholesale system. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tuyên. I'm a founder of FinFan, which is over 10 years with the Western Union business and is the first partner in Vietnam. I understood how is the bank boy in the market. Not only I myself, but also my founding team from the bank who developed for the MoneyGram business. We spent around 3 years time quietly just building a network to be the top one network, which is the fully loaded method. And we qualify on the new edition of this big player for fasting onboarding, similar and cheaper. And it's a bank and a service model. Our revenue is from each transaction and the infrastructure licensing. By the B2B, we benefit from defining partner strategy. Who do we go with? We plan to go with over 100 leading industry partners globally. Million users acquired with them and $1 billion generate. Here is a local partner. We start with national switching, post office, telco, and bank real-time transaction. Here is the partner from global who already signed with us, and we just generate around 400 billion VND. For achieving, we break down our mission to get a small goal, and the top one is a border settlement network from Vietnam. With the C-suite, it's a network, it's a team of 10 outstanding founders from all the corridor to make Live and Lively program for migrant community. And for economic exit strategy, that's why I need yours. And it's a migrant association, banking regulator, investment network for making us moving faster. Today's tomorrow. Let's see the shift. Thank you for your attention and welcome our journey. Thank you.
Banking and fintech and financial inclusion is one of my favorite topics because it's one of the hardest when it comes to work with migrants. This is my question. Especially what's the plan right now? What's the roadmap on where are you developing? Where are you planning to scale up? What are the current regulations that exist in your country that might potentially be a risk of integrating this whole thing with migrants. I'm mentioning this because if you have plans of scaling, countries like Germany, MasterCards and cards for people with migrant background, it might not be possible. So I just want to know basically, what do you know about local regulations, and essentially what are the risks that you have assessed on entering into this fintech market? Thank you.
Thank you. The scaling is quite so fast because Ed is the C-suite network from Western Union. So all of my colleagues from many regions, many countries. So I'm working with them right now. They themselves they also is the founder as mine. So I will jump up to them, and then we build up its own the system, and we sign all of the partner, and then from them we apply to one country, and then from they themselves they expert in their country. Like we join together. That is the way we scaling.
Actually, I know a little bit about one of part of these problems, and that is when you start to sell things in different countries of your company address, and you have to charge, you have problems with the regulations, as Anna said. I wonder, is it possible to go with your platform and charge customers everywhere? And in that case, how do you fix that with regulations?
For the regulation by each country is quite different. So the regulation is one of the biggest issue for the fintech for scaling. So that is the reason why and choose the local guy who expert in my business, and then he have the same attitude business. So if we jump with them, like I give you the example, if I want to scale to the India, so I have the close connection with the India there, and then I find out the good founder is there, and then I join with them.
It is a very fascinating area to work, and definitely an area where more innovation and approaches are needed. But I didn't quite get the distinction. I mean, it's also a busy domain where there are a lot of different players. Can you just explain quickly like how it's different than other money transfer systems? How is it different from TransferWise or Western Union or others?
The outer model is different. We are not a money transfer company or is a payment company. So we are the neobank player, but exporter. That is the first one. And then we build with the system for the partner to integrate in. I give you the example. If you are in Germany, for example, and then if you want to provide your service to the Asia country, and then we open with that to API integration to our platform, and then the local people can use your service. We have this.
So it's trying to be the BaaS, the bank as a service, and as an end user service, both of them. So you want to be providing services to other banks, transfer companies, or sellers, etc.
Yeah, we are the B2B model, not B2C.
Not B2C at all. Okay, so only B2B.
We are the B2B.
I see. Okay.
Like I mentioned, you are the financial institution in Germany. You want to provide a credit line in Vietnam, for example. You integrate in our system, and then the local people can use your business. Okay.
And in terms of the traction, how much of this is done? Do you have users? Do you have clients?
For the traction is up to date. As you see on the left side here. Here is a partner I already signed with them. Okay?
I see.
And here,
okay.
And here the traction is we just start and then we proceed around 400 billion VND. And now which
is how much in US dollars?
US roll 18 mil.
Good morning, everyone. This is Tom. Tom is a Kenyan worker who paid a rogue recruiter for a job in Qatar. And when he arrived, he realized the job was not what he was promised. The pay was lower, the contract was longer, and the living conditions were poorer. Tom had the idea for a mobile app that would give migrant workers information that would empower them to make better choices. And that idea sparked the creation of Just Good Work. Now, Tom's story is by no means unique. Of the estimated 40 million people in modern slavery today, the estimates are that 8 million are in debt bondage that they have accrued in that recruitment process. And our own research in 2016 with over 70 companies confirmed this. As they said, the recruitment process was the area of least visibility for them and the hardest to address. So in 2019, we created the Just Good Work mobile platform, and we made it free to job seekers and workers, equipping them with the information and advice they would need for their rights and responsibilities, both during recruitment and into employment and beyond. As you can see, we're trying to address the whole picture and the whole journey so that workers can know from when they look for a job at home to when they finish up and go back, what's okay and not okay at every stage in that journey. And that includes a Get Help section that links them to organizations at home and abroad that can offer them support if they get into trouble. The business model for Just Good Work involves working with companies developing a subscription to a customized version of the platform that they can use with their suppliers and their suppliers' recruiters. And they are working with us because they can see our model is trying to prevent exploitation from those very earliest stages. And we have a grassroots model for distribution. We work with community groups and youth groups and places of worship to get the word out and get the app out to people from those very early stages of when they look for a job or where they're most likely to be exploited. Apple reported that they paid over $30.6 million to their suppliers over 10 years for fees that were wrongly paid by their workers to recruiters. That's both costly, but it's also ineffectual when it comes to tackling the root cause of problems of exploitation. So we know there's a clear business case for a preventative model here. And we also know there's potential cost savings for companies because there is a lot of cost involved in poor recruitment practice around staff retention, around retraining, and job suitability as well. We're working to build a diverse team. And our development team is based in Uganda because we're committed to creating jobs in areas where there's few opportunities and skilled workers at home. And that team bring invaluable insights because they're intimately connected with the problems that we're trying to solve here. 2 years on, we are now in 19 countries and 15 languages, and there's two key ways we want to grow in the coming years. We want to start working more widely with industry bodies and sectors, and also directly engaging factories and production sites. COVID-19 has put migrant workers' rights at risk like never before, and we want to raise the bar throughout the recruitment industry and make migrant employment work for everyone. Thank you very much. My co-founder Quinton will be with me to take any questions that you might have.
Hi, you two. How are you?
Good.
Thank you.
Quickly, what's your connection with this topic? Because I got a little bit confused about the person that you introduced at the beginning. I thought that he was part of your team. So I just want to know basically what's the connection with this from the two of you and why did you start this?
Okay, so we started by talking to companies. We were doing research around modern slavery and looking at what works for companies. And they repeatedly talked about the recruitment process. And then just fortuitously through a shared friend, we met Tom. He was a mutual friend who was working in Qatar, and we had a Zoom call with him. And he was saying to us, well, it wasn't Zoom, it was Skype back then. And he said to us, like, this is real. This is my experience as a worker, and I'm not getting enough information. So we saw there was a pain point for companies, but also for workers. So Tom's not on our team, but his idea sparked it, and he was part of that early team that helped put the content together and the grassroots distribution as well, both in Qatar and in Kenya.
And lastly, for the rest to ask some questions, traction. How many users, how many people have you supported in this transition? And I'm curious to know from a business model standpoint, how do you provide these services to the companies? Is it more in a shape of consulting? Just because I'm curious about the figure of 160K between last year and this year, and you had only 7 partners so far. So how much do you charge them, or how do you work with them?
Yeah, so I guess our, first of all, user traction. So there's around 5,500 users who've downloaded and made use of the app so far. That's almost entirely through the grassroots distribution. We have, I guess, for companies, as you say, there's 7 clients. The majority of them at this stage are paying for that customization that Angela was talking about. So because there's not many solutions like this, a lot of the upfront development and customization cost is a big part of that early revenue. But over time, as the client base grows, that will move more to a subscription model, where companies are paying both to ongoing subscription and update in users' languages, but also the data that they receive back from right throughout the user's journey. There's inline questions throughout the app that give them that transparency that Angela was talking about.
Is there any way that one can have access to or seeing basically the users? Because I mean, I was browsing through your social media and I don't see that much tracking. Because, you know, like users can be anything, you know, these days, and people joining programs. So is there anything, do you have any data, statistics that one can see on the tracking?
So we don't publish any of that at the moment. We work with the partners we work with in each country. We're working with them to see how best to share that data in a public way. I mean, the aim has always been that the data that comes from Just Good Work would be widely available for more to benefit from. So particularly as we're pushing out the messaging. So for example, Angela talked about the grassroots outreach, and that happens largely online through Facebook, Instagram, as well as the community groups that Angela was saying. And so when that happens, so for example, some of the updates that go out through the app, that reaches about another sometimes 15 to 20,000 users through the different user groups of Romanians in the UK, Nepali and Malaysia, these different kinds of groups. But we don't publish any of that yet on our website.
I have 2 questions. The first is, how do you quality check the employers? Because that's also one thing I've sort of heard, that there is also a problem that employers are not serious. And the second thing I wonder about is that when I looked at your traction, I thought that, are you planning to make enough money to be able to scale this? You know, basically.
Sure. Yeah, both good questions. So on the first one, in terms of quality checking employers, one of the reasons Just Good Work is the way that it is it's providing an independent reference for users. So it says both what the law says, but also what the actual experience has been of people like Tom. So showing them what things to look out for, like Angela said, what's okay and what's not okay. And so because of that, even as we're working with employers, so for example, in Malaysia, where we work with the Very Group, we've worked closely with them, with their factory and with the agencies they work with. So they're very aware of the content that's in the app, and they know that because that's what the app says should be happening, that's what they have to be doing. Because if not, those responses from users will instantly show that there are issues in their particular process.
And I would just add to that as well, the app contains external agencies that they can contact. So for example, in the UK, every employer who's giving it out to their employees, they've got access to the Modern Slavery Helpline. So if they're having problems, they've got external places that they can take complaints and concerns to as well.
Yeah, and the second question, just in terms of enough revenue to scale, I think we've pursued really just seeing that we have enough revenue to scale slowly. And as Angela said, that's now seen us move into a number of different countries and places where the app can be available. As we start to reach out more through the industry groups and to factories directly, that will start to give the subscription revenue that will really help the platform scale. But scalability is very much why Just Good Work runs as a business, as a B Corp, because sustainability has been at the core of the model from the beginning.
Hello everyone, so my name is Wayne. So right now I'm representing a CrossWorks. Basically we are providing Myanmar talents to the international quality job opportunity. So I suppose every one of you already heard about military coup happenings in Myanmar, and COVID-19 is already being struck to the wall. UNDP predict 48%, like basically half of the Myanmar population will go under the poverty line in next year because of military coup plus COVID-19. So you can see the Myanmar situation all over the international media. So because of resulting of the white collar classes is disappearing, because of international companies are laying off the employee, international investment are withdrawing from the country, and also the country economy collapsing itself. So what's the solution? So the solution is we provide a quality international job opportunities for white collar Myanmar talent, and then we manage them and we train them to achieve better opportunity staying inside Myanmar. So this is our model. So we are the medium platform between the international employer and Myanmar talent. So international employer can get access to top 1% of the talent in cost-effective and maximum return, and Myanmar talent will have an international employment opportunity despite the military coup. So this is one of the case study. On the left-hand side, you can see the Poly fresh graduate, which is basically a Singapore fresh graduate. So annual cost of Singapore fresh graduate workforce is 33,000. On the right-hand side, you can see the freelancer. Freelancer is very cheap, but the downside of freelancer is they are unreliable, and sometimes in worst case they might steal your idea and they can quit your job at any time. But CrossWorks, we hire Myanmar talent and we manage them, we employ them on behalf of your company. So basically, we cover all the every sector from account to media production, social media, IT, up to the virtual apartment, which is basically able to work remotely and everywhere. So here's our service fee. First, we do not charge any service fee to the candidate. So we charge only $400 to the employer, and the salary of the candidate goes directly straight to their bank account. We charge no commercial fees. We only charge subscription-based HRB, which is basically about 200 to 250 monthly because of attendance, leave, payroll, and other commuter requirement. So currently we employ the 80 talents. So in past we hire 5 talents. So right now we heavily rely on the manual process, but we intended in the future to build an automation platform to run the more smooth operation. So this is our team. Jishu is our founder and CEO. I'm Wing Kok Wong, representing HR activities in CrossWorks. So this is all about the CrossWorks activities. I'm looking forward to answer your question. Thank you.
Just very simple question. How are the companies that you're talking to? How are their perception after the coup, and how are they doing right now? Are they planning to stay? Are they with you on this, on onboarding more individuals? What's their situation? Because they're basically also your customers, I guess.
Right. In Myanmar, after the military coup, some people are leaving the country already, but they have kind of privilege to leave the country. But majority of Myanmar people stay stuck in Myanmar, so they do not have a job. So it's kind of like we are creating an opportunity for them. So from the side of the employer, international companies from outside of Myanmar. So right now, in past a few months, like in February and March, internet shutdown is very often in the country. But right now, everything's becoming to the normal, internet restoring the normal. So they keep continue hiring the Myanmar, especially majority of our clients are from Singapore. So they understand, because geographically Myanmar and Singapore are in the Southeast Asia region, and also in Singapore, many of Myanmar citizens, Myanmar talents, they physically go there and work at the many IT industries. So Myanmar people is kind of positioned in Singapore market as a IT professional. It's kind of like Indian people in the United States. So Singapore company right now are more and more looking to grab this opportunity after the military coup. So with cheaper price and get a maximum return. So we stay in touch with a lot of Singapore companies, and stay having a very positive review from our clients.
I have a follow-up question on what Anna was asking. Win, thank you for your presentation, and I like the solution is tackling the problem from the very roots of migration and having people not migrate and stay in their own country, which is maybe the best solution in terms also for the family and the livelihood and the culture and so on. And what, I understand what you're doing, but have you looked into from legal constraints, sanction constraints from that angle of companies who are pulling out of Myanmar for the reasons you mentioned and the coup and so on? So they cannot operate in the country anymore. Can they operate having from abroad and employing people there? Just thinking about permanent establishment and from a sanction standpoint and so on and so forth. Have you looked into that? Is it viable for a company like myself, which is most international? Could we operate in the way you described? I don't know, some thoughts about that.
Right. Because we have already built a very valid business model so far. So basically, we are not directly connected to Myanmar talent to the international company. Basically, CrossWorks provides a service to international company, and the talent is being employed by CrossWorks. So international sanctions are only targeted to the military and their relatives. So we are a private company. So we are not under the global economic sanction. So it's pretty legal. So for us, as far as our operation, and we understand the situation.
First of all, are you based in Myanmar? Second, when you take $250 from the company to find a talent, is that talent hired by you so that as a company, I will know that actually my business partner is your company, or are you just connecting freelancers? I didn't quite get that.
Right. So we are a platform. So we basically provide a service to our client, and the Myanmar talent is not directly employed by our client. So we employ Myanmar talent. The CrossWorks Company is based in Myanmar. It's registered in Myanmar. So Myanmar company employ is basically outsourced for clients company. Right. So in order to submit your answer, yes. But yes, we provide a service to the client, but it's not directly employed by by international company to Myanmar talent.
But the candidates, the people that, if I hire someone through you, will that person be employed by your company, or will that person that I work with, will that person be a freelancer?
It's employed by the CrossWorks. It's employed by the CrossWorks. So all of the salary or your HR fee, mainly HR fee, subscription fees, it goes into the CrossWorks, and we pay the salary fees to our talent.
Hi everybody. Labor migration and starting a new job in a new country comes with challenges, and you of course have to learn the general language, but you often have to learn vocabulary that is really job related. For example, if you want to become a painter, there are 5 vocabs you see here, and I guess you all speak English, but even in English it's very hard. And we identified only for the painter job, 61 more vocabularies which have to be learned additionally to the normal language skills. And we asked ourselves, how can we enable people to learn job-related vocabulary in their speed? And we developed Lunes, a low-level learning app, which simplifies the learning of even this professional vocabulary. And The cool thing, or one of the USPs, is that you can use it without registrate yourself, without sharing personal data with the app. So it's really low level, and it works with illustrations and audio and video, and not with translations. So it's also really scalable in terms of putting this solution from Germany, where we are based, into other countries. And to give you an idea of who we are a team of currently nine people. We developed the solution, or we had the first idea of the solution in 2019 with guys from Gambia together. We took 1 year to talk with integration experts, check what competitors are there. I mean, there are a lot of vocabulary apps, and we all tried to solve the issue with the existing apps. And then in 2020, we built the first prototype and proof of concept to check if this solution would really help migrants. And then in 2021, we collected some money and developed the first MVP. Currently in our team, we have half of it as volunteers and the other half as part-time employees. And one very unique thing is that we do the whole solution open source, so it can be copied and distributed, and also the vocabulary is collected Creative Commons license. So we create a really huge database, which vocabulary words and pictures, which can be used from every organization which want to implement Lunes for their scenario or context. So it's really customizable and scalable. The business model behind, because now you say, okay, open source, how to earn money? We go for a software as a service model, and we did the same 5 years ago with Migrate, one of the largest platforms for local information in Germany. We doubled our revenue every of the last years there, and are financially stable now with 20 people there in the Migrate project. And for Lunes, we want to do a similar thing with a monthly fee of around 100 euros for companies who want to have their own Lunes app with their own vocab, their own industry and their own modules. And to have a look at the financial needs, by 2024, we want to be financially stable. And here you can see how big a leverage effect from the 5,000, Swiss francs would be in our project. So we only need for 2022, 48,000 euros of external funding. We already in contact with some other cooperation partners to fit this gap. In the next steps, we currently plan a pilot phase, which starts in October with 5, 10, 15 vocational schools here, also to collect vocabulary. We partner up with some cooperation partners. The city of Munich is currently or will be in. Malteser Werke, it's a big voluntary organization here in Germany. They will also partner up. And we are currently want to identify more partners in Europe who have similar challenges that could be solved with Lunes. And there's where probably you and your network comes also in. Help us to find partner organizations who want to use our open source solution. And then you probably know, you see it here, the word. This is like one of the painting vocabularies you can learn with the app. And thanks for your time, and I'm open for questions.
Well, you have already a lot of years working with migrants in Germany. So, I mean, I know that work very well. But on that basis, I'm interested to know, why did you came up with Lunes? And because I'm sure that you identified something that was missing. So I'm curious to know what was that finding that made you do it like that. And from the application development, I can see that you're actually using imagery as an identification for people. So is this connected with some AI for them to kind of guide them through other stuff? So I'm actually interested on how are you planning to develop the application further, and what are the plans towards that, essentially, and why did you use images for this first identification, which is something that I've seen recently in some new app developments, so please elaborate on that. And happy to hear that it's in Spanish, Lunes.
So the idea came not from us. It was it came from municipalities outside and integration experts, and they always try to solve this problem with our Integrate, so our Integrate information app. And we told them, no, that's not the case for this app. We need something different here, and please have a look at what's already existing. So the need came from cities, independently from each other. And then we started in 2019 to check if it's really an issue, if there might be an impact on developing something like that. And so it came all up. And we started with images because, during the evaluations in some language classes, it came up that it's the most or the easiest way also if you want to bring in companies and schools as a content provider. So if, for example, a school wants to have their vocabulary in, they can just make a photo and put it in their language. And it's much easier to set up than to, for example, organize translations as well. Even this will be maybe an add-on we add. But this is why we also started with images, and we will put up the next step with videos. So you see a video on how some tool, for example, is used, and then you get the name on it, and you also get some sentence where it's used. This was also a desire from a target group. So we did one evaluation already with around 30 migrants, now with the MVP in February.
First of all, do I understand correctly that your business model is that schools and municipalities pay 90 euros to create their curriculum?
And so first idea was that only companies pay money for it. For example, if a company says, okay, cool with all the Lunes content you have, but I have specific vocabulary here. I want to make another priority in some tools. I want to have my own tools in because they are more identifiable. They can better identify by the migrants. Then they have two possibilities. They can take the whole open source code with their IT department and set it up, which is a huge effort because it's an app, or they can just pay 99 euros and they get their own closed area where they can, imagine you open Lunes and you put in an invitation code as a nice to have, and if you enter the invitation code, you are in this closed area. And this was the first idea, and then we talked to companies, and then we talked also to schools, and we identified that schools have more need in that because they're adding every week they're adding some vocabularies to their lectures, and so they say we have more need in individual Lunes app. And so we changed the business model there a bit. Our primary target group will be schools, and they will also get a 50% non-profit discount because the threshold from where a school needs similar proposals is around 700 to 1,000 euros, and we want to stay below that so that it's easier for the teachers to buy a subscription. And we will first do this prototype phase now, 9 months, where the prototype schools can use it for free. And then from mid of 2022, they will be charged for it. This is the current plan for that.
How long are you going to live? How much time you have for new projects, new jobs, new places to live, or even a new country for a new job? 164 million labor migrants have made this hard choice. We are here to help them because time and life are priceless. My mother was a labor migrant 12 years ago. I used to hire migrants for my previous business. I know both sides of this coin. And sometimes it takes weeks and hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire migrants. Our solution can solve this for 17 minutes for less price. Because 17 minutes has been spent by Elsa to be applied and be approved to the vacancy in Poland via Jobian, without fee, without hard charges, without hard copies or originals shared. Imagine, Jobian is possible to process unlimited number of applications at the same time. Thanks to perfect matching, digital contract signing, visa and documents digital preparation, transportation, accommodation, legal and medical support, all procedures become absolutely transparent, legally framed, secure and shortened in time from weeks to minutes. As the result, employers get money and time saving recruiting. migrants get absolutely free of charge legal and decent work. We have started from Ukraine and Europe and want to scale up to America and Asia. It's a competitive market, but almost all of the players give one or two benefits to the users. We took the best from existing and put it to our platform and made all-in-one solution. That's why our business model is based on the complex of fees from the employers and absolutely free for migrants. In addition, we plan to get revenue from extra service fee. Since the launch of beta version in December 20, and without ad, without any promotion, in 2 months we already have 47,000 visitors, more than 2,000 applicants, 26 employees in Europe, partnership with bank and 2 insurance companies, project with MasterCard, cooperation with Iris, office in Ukraine, Poland and Lithuania, application for Android, 350,000 invested, and that's only the beginning. We want to raise extra 1.5 million and to reach Northern and American Asia markets in 2023. It's possible because we have a multinational super team with experience more than 19 years in recruiting, finance and insurance, and strong advisors who set up successful business projects for Bunge and Morgan Stanley. I'm really passionate to changing the narrative, preventing irregular channels of the existing system. We are looking for global employers network support to offer business and organizations an ethical, decent, smart and efficient way of cross-border recruiting. I am Olga. Let's change the world for better together. Thank you.
If you can go back to your traction, Olga, thank you so much first and foremost for dedicating the time and for applying to this. I think it's amazing the work that you're doing. That would be great if you can just elaborate on that, basically where you are at the moment.
At the moment, we have launched the beta version. Then we corrected all the mistakes that we found, and we have started only on the beginning of this month from Poland. So now we are opening in Lithuania and just starting their active sales. Dmitry, maybe you have some new figures.
Yeah, sure. We've got a lot of feedbacks for this November-December session. Hello, everybody. And our regional managers in Poland and Lithuania right now entering the market of employers. So we'll see the MRR and we'll see more attractions in 2 or 3 months. It'd be great for us. But tomorrow we've got communication with our would-be Pakistan partner. So we see a huge motivated bunch of people in Pakistan and Middle East to connect them via Jobian. So we are here.
Where do you want to be in the next 12 months, the next 24 months? So what would you consider success in your path?
The main success for us will be to connect with huge employers in the region we are interested in, and we go in by two, step by step, 2 legs. First leg, we are improving our technical platform, and here you may see the roadmap for our plans. And the second leg, we are entering employers market. And but there is the third one. We are just another step in our cooperation with Iris. It's a project for our international organization of migration. So it's very helpful for us. So in next 12 months, as you see, we'll got all these plans to make.
Do you do any kind of quality check of the employers?
Great question, because we know that analyzing an assessment of skills and motivation is very important for all the sides. So right now we are improving our checking ability to see how migrants will be able to work on this or that job, and we plan to have a module for assessment. Assessment of blue collars, it's not as done as assessment for middle and top management, but we've got some instruments, and we are planning till the end of this year to start a pilot for assessment of migrants in Ukraine at least. It's important for our clients.
Yeah,
I'm just
our
quick to-
system is very flexible, so we can adjust it very quickly. And even if Elon Musk will make the colonization of the Mars, so we will be ready to go there and to bring colonizers.
I'm just quick to add. So I'm a little bit confused. There's a lot of references to focusing on tech talents, but then also you're talking about blue collar and other workers.
Great. There is no any focus on tech talents. Maybe the previous pitch was about it. We are focused on blue collars, but we've got a high-tech platform to make it better. For example, the case with Elsa, it's been a case for cashier in a retail chain. So right now we are working with the huge amount of people which are blue collars. So it's our focus now, but it will work for all levels of employers and immigrants.
Okay, the description as well that we have emphasizes Ukraine as one of the top 10 countries for developers and high-tech engineers. So it's broad-based blue collar you're talking about.
Definitely. Ukraine is a huge donor for pan-European market of labor, 2.5 million of migrants, and most of them are blue collars. But we are lucky that we've got top 10 engineers here. That's why our platform is great.
Okay, great.
I found that all participants were great. I liked the energy, the enthusiasm, the ideas and the entrepreneurship in wanting to put their time, efforts and money to solve this issue. Clearly, not all will be successful, but I think you need to have a competition, you need to have ideas, and that's the future. I think I do believe that tech is the future to solve migrants' problems. So I'm really happy about what I saw so far.
I definitely agree. It was a great group of people, and working through some difficult challenges. Always this judging process is challenging when there's limited time to really get to know and go and dig in deep with the teams. But it's exciting that they're working on these efforts, and hopefully a good number of them will grow and have some traction, have some impact. And I think that within an imperfect world, we need much more of this. We need much more programs and efforts and mentoring and funding and programs and support for people experimenting with different approaches to these critical challenges.
I think it was a very interesting session with many good ideas. I hope they succeed in making an impact, and also that they make some money that they can pour into their communities.
I think that they all resemble exactly what's missing, right? I mean, we still have lots of years talking about migration, talking about possible solutions, and yet we see today that there are still pain points on very basic areas like jobs, language, and finances. So I think that all the people, essentially, in housing as well, and I think that all the people who applied, they're doing a tremendous work. And I really want to congratulate you for doing this effort, and to all the team for making sure that the prizes don't go out just as a recognition, but as well with financial support. Because believing, working in this, it's really hard enough to actually make others being conscious that helping migrants and supporting their relocation, their inclusion, their integration, it's key for the success of all of us as a society. So thank you. And I just want to see, as Nikolai said, seeing them all succeed, because if they all succeed, we all succeed.
This marks the end of our pitches for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to tune in on July 1st to find out who the winners are.